Dr.Ben.
Thing that takes off.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Dr.Ben again, man. He had been away from comics for a long time, and now he's back. He's got these crazy colors.
Yes, I like.
Really great work. And some of it's like meta too, you know. It's got talking about Brubaker, Sean Phillips. This is like he is in this. He's the guy with the chops and the bald head there in the top right. So like, you know.
That's the Broob.
Yeah, his hat. Yeah, does Broob know about this? He would love this.
Oh, there we are.
Here we are.
Live. Coming at you once again from
The office.
From the office. Here it is. This is Relaunch Reviews. Friendly neighborhood. Dr.Ben.
And the river.
The man who thinks he's a river? Or is it a river that thinks he's a man? That is the mystery wrapped up
in an enigma.
Sam.
Much like the true identity of Jack the Ripper. Mystery wrapped in an enigma. Another mystery.
Yes.
Some people think, though, he hunted vampires.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, this is what I love about the Jack the Ripper story, is that obviously we don't know who it was. And there's so many different
Alan Moore thinks it's Dr. Gull.
Well, not really, though.
Yeah.
As we know, even though many people believe that is Alan Moore's perception, that, you know, Alan Moore is suggesting that Sir William Gull was the Ripper. He, in fact, admits that, what did he say? He said that it was,
okay.
Right there. He says that the Whitechapel murders.
The Whitechapel murders were initially not even considered for adaptation by Moore. With so much Ripper material surrounding me in the media on account of it being the centenary of the murders, I began to understand there were still ways to approach the Whitechapel murders that might expose previous unexplored seams of meaning.
Exactly. And so this is actually the back of that talks about what we're looking at today. This that's Jack right there from I'll just pull it on the camera, because if I try to pull the comic up under the there, it'll be.
And here we go.
Yeah, we won't be able to see because of the thing or whatever. But yeah, so this is Jack the Ripper, Vampire Hunter. Written by, there we go. I get my
Mandy Summers.
Yeah, written by Mandy Summers and art by Peter Gilmore here. And this is also the first printing from, it says 2022. Anyways, it starts off like her story is like, obviously there's vampires in the story. I mean, it's the title, Vampire Hunter. You know, if they weren't vampires and they were just people pretending to be vampires or something, it wouldn't be. You know, like it just would. There's vampires. That's what the world that we're in.
Obviously.
So it starts off with the prologue here in 1839, right? And it talks about she calls him the Highgate vampire, and he's basically it doesn't name him here, but he's the one who's sort of starting it all. He's like the progenitor, the start of these vampires in London here. He's been going around biting all of the prostitutes and whatnot, turning them
Mm-hmm.
into vampires themselves.
So he's like a pimp.
Well, I don't know. I guess, yeah, to a point, because then they do get to, like, we see them all together
Well,
at different
like-
points too.
Yeah, well, it's like Count Dracula had his own like harem of like women vampires that he used, you know, for his purposes, you know. So
Yeah, so
it's
there's
kind of like makes sense.
that's what I mean. Like it has its own what would you call that? Like its own like line of reasoning and like lore to like what the story is. It's not just like, okay, it's 1888 and Jack the Ripper's a vampire. You know, he's fighting vampires. You know, it's just like it's explaining like why this is happening, right? And she kind of veers off too. Not really veers off, but it's not like she's trying to turn it into, like, it doesn't have like Detective Aberline, right? She has Detective James King, who's like an American who's over there. Can you hold this for a second? I'm gonna check to make sure on the. Yeah. Just to make sure our sound isn't messed up or anything. Hold on just a second. I do, because you know how that is. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we've talked about this before, definitely. Like, we're both like, you just. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Seemed like it wasn't doing any kind of echo, so that's
Okay.
the main.
No echoes.
Right, we don't want echoes. And this is the other thing that it's really going to be impossible for me to tell. But how I was like talking to you before, the way the grayscale is here.
Yeah.
I need to get the sword and just start. You have something so I can just be like, oh, you know. You have just like all kinds of random. That's the other thing. We gotta take a break, anyways.
Yeah.
Well, to me, like I don't know if we're gonna be able to see how. Like I was explaining with like the way the grayscale has that kind of like sheen to it. You see what I'm like? Can you see that here? The way it's got like a.
Yeah.
The way like the light reflects off the grays and gives it like a.
Yeah. I mean, it might just be like good shading or something.
Oh yeah. No, well that's what I'm saying. Like it's definitely.
I do like the effect it has for sure.
Yeah, so that's
Just
that's
a good use of shadow.
I don't know if how well like that kind of like shine that I'm seeing comes across through the video, but like, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's something. The difference between seeing something on a TV screen or your phone screen and like having, you know, the book. Like we talked, like even just looking at the cover, trying to get it in the camera and stuff with the light.
It's another layer of separation.
Right. So I mean, that's definitely my encouragement is to get it. We do want to. I just want to like take a break before we go through it more. So I wanted to start off with this.
Oh yes. Yeah, I heard about this today.
Yeah, we want to give a shout out, definitely, to our fallen legend. You know what I'm saying? Akira Toriyama passed yesterday. Very sad. You know, creator of Dragon Ball, Dragon Quest, Bulma. Sad. Dr. Slump, Goku, Piccolo, all the different, the little guy. I can never think of what the old guy's name is. He wasn't like that old. Like he was in his 60s. That's what I'm saying. Very, very sad day yesterday. Like I just saw it and like immediately, like it wasn't one of the ones where like you know, sometimes you see like somebody dies and like,
apparently they like withheld the information for a bit or something. Like I apparently died like maybe a week go or something.
That's
And they didn't want to like let everybody know or something.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it was definitely, well, when I heard it, that's what I mean. Like, I saw it on, posted something or other.
I heard it at work. One of the people at work was like
today? Or
yeah,
oh.
yeah, today. Like, they're like a big fan of like Dragon Ball Z or whatever and stuff.
Right.
And like, I thought they said Tony Iommi died or whatever for some reason.
Maybe
And
there's
like,
still time to make that exchange.
Yeah.
If we can enter.
What?
I can.
It was just a little embarrassing because I mentioned like some other thing, like, you know, I was out listening to Black Sabbath in my car.
You're like, I love Black Sabbath. Yeah.
Oh,
it's horrible. And they're just like, what?
Yeah. I mean, they like Black Sabbath too, and like I was talking about how like Ozzy Osbourne like almost died a few times, and like she just kind of went along with that. Like she didn't really think.
It's just like
no, but like it wasn't like weird like the next thing I mentioned. You know,
right?
But I was just talking about somebody else that like basically almost died or whatever. You know, and they said like, yeah, they've almost died like several times or something. But anyway, back to
that's what I'm saying. So I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like, they're all great.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, sir. Thank you. And that's what I mean. That's just what I thought. What I'm saying is, like, you know how like sometimes you'll see like they'll say like somebody's dead, and it's not real, or like they'll say that someone's dead, and you're like you think like maybe it's a hoax. You know what I mean? You're like, maybe that's not really.
Yeah.
Like when I heard it, I was just like, I knew. I was just like, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just immediately, you know. So yeah, it's a sad day, very sad day. So not to get too somber. But I mean, you know, Jack the Ripper is a horror story, so I mean, maybe it is kind of like almost you know, like you don't want to have a happy Jack the Ripper story. Well, I mean, I do, but you know.
Well, I mean, if he is hunting parasites, aka vampires,
right?
I guess Jack the Ripper is really the hero of this book. Really, like if you think about it.
Yeah, he's It is. I mean, it is like, I mean, it's like horrible.
Well, it is Jack the Ripper.
Yeah. But it's it definitely reminds me of like old like horror movies, like Vincent Price stuff, and like who's that? Black Sunday? Is that what I'm thinking?
Just Black Christmas.
No,
that's a bit newer.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like older, like 50s, 60s.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's got, and you know how I don't like to give away the whole stories or whatever, but obviously it's not like in this story like people recognize that he's a vampire hunter and that he's
you're right, yeah.
He's like half infected himself is what's supposed to be is part of the lore, and he's trying to that's what this other part is that he is trying to where did that go? Wherever that part was where he had the body all like staked out. He's like trying to figure out, he's like studying him. It's a vampire. It's not just like, you know, it's not a person. I mean, it is a person, but it's a person who's a vampire who will kill and eat more people, drain their blood. You know, so he's trying to figure out how to cure himself. Right, stop himself from becoming a monster, as he puts it. Right. Maybe I gotta become a monster. That'd be so bad. You know. So it's interesting because it's like I want to find out like more about him because you don't get the whole background of where exactly everything comes from, right? Like how exactly he became. I would assume because he's like trying to find like I said, that the Highgate vampire. Was he over here? Yeah, this guy. This one that's all moon face guy, right? The evil vampire. Sort of like he reminds me of like Nosferatu. You know, he's got his their vampire gave him there. That's the other good thing is that's how.
Actually, Dr.Ben, his name isn't Nosferatu, it's Count Orlok or whatever, right?
Is it?
No, yeah, like you know, or
from that
from
Shadow of the Vampire.
No, from the movie Nosferatu. His
Was
name isn't Nosferatu in the movie. The movie is called that. But like,
really?
Yeah.
I think you're right. I never thought about that. Like, I just thought his name was Nosferatu. Like, I just come on, Nosferatu, and he's like,
no,
climate's doing that levitation. So he reminds me of him a lot. You know, like this Highgate vampire dude.
Yeah. Very
bad guy. Yeah. I guess with the way their teeth are, it's like
yeah.
Instead of those like canines,
so you have like those kind of weird ears. Do you get to see his ears? Yeah. He has the ears that are.
I mean, look at it.
Kind of like that.
This isn't like the AI art. You know, this isn't digital either. You know, this is. You can go on Peter Gilmore's is his Twitter? Yeah, it's his Twitter is what I link to. I mean, he posts, his works in progress. He's a traditional artist. He's using pen and ink, graphite to do the tones, I would assume. That stuff is...
Yeah, it looks very good.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just... It goes back and forth too. Is the other thing. Like it's divided into these chapters that'll be from like chapter 1 is from the perspective of the detective, and then the second chapter here is from the perspective of Jack, him explaining what the other thing is, I don't think, no, it must be. I guess these are supposed to be like the same victims from Jack the Ripper. But I mean, it flips the whole story on its head. You know what I mean? Like rather than them being like victims so much, like he does kill them because he's stopping them from turning into more vampires. They're going out and they bite and kill people and drain their blood. You can't do that. It's just not nice, Look at them. They're healing. They're undead. That thing, that lady where her guts were all open, now she's healed. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So that's what I'm saying. Like it presents such a different
That's a unique take on a classic story.
Exactly. Like you don't think like what if Jeffrey Dahmer was actually the hero? What if Charlie Manson was actually was a prophet? Like
yeah.
It'd just be with those because they're so much closer. I think you would get like more outrage, you would get to like turn it, because I mean that is like kind of like the lure of it too, is that like she's taken this classic historical character, Jack the Ripper. Everyone knows about the Jack the Ripper story, and she's turning it into like he's this sympathetic character.
I really like the idea of like turning a familiar story on its head kind of thing, like or just like kind of messing with somebody's preconceived ideas about like a person or a character.
Right. What if you turn the Frankenstein's monster into an actual monster. You know, he is like trying to hurt people. And like Dr. Frankenstein is like trying not to like resurrect people, but he's trying to create an undead army of mindless. You know, there's just, that's what I'm saying. It just like, it's such a, you know, it just makes you think. And I mean, like when you look at it with, because you know, I'm a big fan of Jack the Ripper stuff. And as we were discussing, you know, I did the from my little zine about it for that conference and everything. And there is a second issue too, which I'm kicking myself I didn't order it at the time. But
how many are out?
Just the two.
Just two.
First two issues. But they're both, as we said, you know, these are nice, thick comics. Like, was it 48 pages, 64 pages, something like that. They're all hefty. And it's like such a solid book. You know what I mean?
I really must satiate my hunger for Jack the Ripper tales.
That's what I'm saying. Well,
is that I love From Hell and just got them by Gaslight. And
let me grab.
Yeah.
Let me show off a couple of other. I was gonna say the other thing I want to do is show that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is like the start of the series. I figure we should show off a couple of them at least. There's the I'll put that up there. Gotham by Gaslight is
a kind of a retelling of the Batman myth from like kind of a steampunk kind of Victorian
with
era,
Jack the Ripper.
With Jack the Ripper, yeah.
And look and it's called at the beginning From Hell. Has a little introduction by Robert Bloch. The guy that wrote this Brian Augustine, he just passed away, I think in 2020. Mike Mignola on pencils. P. Craig Russell on inks.
Yeah, man. Great.
And then this other one, oh shit.
Blood of the Innocent.
Blood of the Innocent. This thing is like it's like a little 4-issue mini series. Dracula and Jack the Ripper. And again, another special like little written piece in it by Robert Bloch. Why they all like that guy so much? What's the big deal?
So why is Jack the Ripper forever pitted in combat against vampires?
Well, in this, you know, this is the thing too. This is almost like From Hell because it has all the same like characters, like that Prince Eddie and everything.
Yeah.
And Dr. Gull is in this too. Well, so anyway, I'll look at that later. It's by Mark Wheatley and Mark Hempel. Mark Hempel and Mark Wheatley together, written by this Richard Shanklin.
When was the novel of Dracula written? I was just thinking, like, would people know of it around the time of the Whitechapel murders?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I guess that kind of explains why
Dracula.
They put them together. Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I mean. Like we gotta get the second issue now. So that's what I'll bring up. You can scoot back just a hair. Over here. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Oh, I'll wait till you're let me pull up. I'll show you guys the that's what I'm saying. Is like she's got Mandy and also Peter are doing, you can get, I gotta pull that. I gotta do that. That's what it is. There it is. Okay. How did we get? And I want just that as the. Well, I guess that's fine if we're in there. Pull that out. Operate this stuff sometimes. All these things, it's buttons. I did the wrong thing. What did I? Oh shit! This one. There.
Okay, are you good?
I guess we'll just leave it like that. Oh, that's what. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was worried. I was like, wait a second. Did I take out the microphone? No, I did not. Okay. All right.
You're good?
We're good. Okay. Sometimes, every now and then, it gets a little bit confusing putting it all together. Like I said, we had that walkout, and we're talking about everyone went on strike, walked out, and stuck trying to. The entire tech team, HR, everyone just walked out. It's been trying to bring it back together. But yeah, like this is the Super Dead or whatever. And you can get you can get the different issues of Super Dead, but you can also, if you go over to this at the bottom, look, you can get the Jack the Ripper catch-up set and get issue 1 and 2. Just grab both of them. I mean, definitely like the Super Dead 2 also looks cool. I think that's what I'm saying. I think I have to get like.
What's the
Let me show you.
What's the premise?
Let me show you. Here, I'll play.
So tell all your friends, this is the end of everything. Too late to repent. We'll bathe in the blood of the dead. We will sanctify, purify, rejoice in their sorrow and sing. We'll next gen, could not carry anymore. So tell all your friends, this is the end of everything. Too late to repent. The wicked will reap what they sow. We will sanctify, purify, rejoice in their sorrow and sing. Oh, hell next gen, could not carry anymore. Somebody call me.
Maybe. Oh, I muted all that.
Ah! What the fuck?
Every now and then. Every now and
Why
then.
you were saying a bunch of things, Dr.
I know.
Ben.
Maybe it's best. Maybe it's best.
Well, we have some certainly great Dale Keown covers.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying is that like Dale Keown is just I skipped out there because I muted it when I played the song
Yeah.
because otherwise the song would have come out through there and would have gone into the microphone.
Yeah.
And our listeners at home,
Yeah.
you would get it's a cool song, but it's like you echo it, you'd get feedback, and then it'd be like,
yeah.
you know,
Could have been worse.
yeah. I mean, nothing's on fire, so I mean, like, not yet. All right, well, let me pull that out of there then, unless
All right.
okay. Well, yeah. So that's I think sets us up for, and you know, like we're gonna have to do like of course, we gotta do like we'll have to do like a discussion of From Hell at some point too. Because I mean, I don't think we have we?
I don't know.
I don't think we've done it From Hell like.
And you've got a new project you're working on involving babies from hell.
I should
Did you show the audience babies from hell? I think it's pretty great.
That has been my recent thought is to do Babies from Hell, like a Muppet Babies, but with Detective Aberline, little baby Dr. Goal. I think I would have it. Dr. Goal would have to be like maybe they'd all be like murderers, like all the guys would all be little baby Elephant Man, little baby.
Would you have like baby versions of all the other suspects of?
Yeah, you have to. Like little baby Lewis Carroll, little baby Prince Eddie, and
yeah.
Like I said, I think it would be that the Queen would be like serve the role of like nanny.
Mm-hmm.
Like she would be the Queen, like come in every now and then, be like, "Are you kids okay?" Little baby. What is his name? Jubelon or something?
Yeah.
Big tri-goat Masonic pagan demon god thing. I mean, that's definitely like that's not a good.
Yeah.
You know, where's he at in From Hell? You know, he's not I don't know if that's really a Masonic god or not. I don't know what the deal.
I don't know if I have a whole bunch of encyclopedias of Mason origin Masonic.
I'm saying like we should figure that out. Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
he calls him Jabulon. Like they're just like this is what I'm saying. I think this might have to be the thing I definitely do. Because and there's the square. Compass. That creepy as fuck. That's what I'm saying. That's definitely not a good guy. Like this thing.
Well, Dr. Gull sees him in the vision, and he is Jack the Ripper,
right?
You know, and he goes and kills a bunch of people.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's definitely it's like somehow that's what he's supposed to be. You know, in the From Hell fictional story, you know.
And not only does he do these killings, it's all part of like a crazy ritual too.
Right, a ritual to this thing, which he's saying that this is like God or whatever. And it's like, that's definitely not the good God.
Not the God I know.
Yeah, that's definitely not the good one. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Well, I think that'd be funny to have a little baby demon goat thing that's there too. Like just kill the girls. Like, you know? Yeah, so anyway, that's what I'm working on, my own little Jack the Ripper thing after doing that other one. Like the other one of those.
Where?
Yeah. I'll put this in the comments. the fake news from housing I did. So you can read it online, or I read it too. I read the whole thing, but you can download a copy of it, look at it. Talk about Jack the Ripper more. I guess I'm like a Jack the Ripper researcher, or ripperologist, as they say. That's
Ripperologist.
Ripperologist. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, I love just reading this, like, Hallie Rubenholm. People were pissed at this lady because her book called The Five, where it didn't talk about Jack the Ripper. It just talked about the 5 canonical victims. They call them canonical victims. That's like a Bible term. You know what I mean? Like the canonical books of the Bible, the canonical Jack the Ripper. It's so bizarre. I think that's really what like draws me so much of it, is just how bizarre, you know.
Do you have that book?
I did. I got it from the library. I'm gonna have to get it again. But they were pissed at her because she was saying that they weren't necessarily prostitutes, or none of them were, or I got a little fuzzy about what exactly her ultimate end statement was. But I mean, it was like a book that like researched like what their lives were or what they would have been. You know, the one lady was from Sweden, and that one was a registered prostitute in Sweden.
A registered
prostitute?
They had register like cards.
Yeah, if you were in like a prostitute in Sweden, you'd have to register, and
I didn't know that's how it worked.
Once you were caught, it's not like you were like, it's not like a job. Like, okay,
yeah, that's what I'm like picturing. Like you're like clocking in, or you get a prostitution license. You know, like
now you're a whore. Congratulations. Go have a good one. Yeah, that's
go make some money.
Come on, do your part. If you don't work, you don't eat. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I definitely thinking about this and just like all the other, you know, interpretations of Jack the Ripper is just you know, I think it's time we have a baby silly version of Jack the Ripper. Because this is like Mandy's version is definitely not like a baby silly version. It's not. It's got, you know, there's the nudities. There's the
ultra violence.
The old ultra violence.
Is there the in out and out?
Yeah,
there's the in out and out.
All of these things are in here. Yeah, look at him. That's Jack up there with the mask, and he is stopping, or well, he didn't stop him, but like he gets to him after his nemesis here, the Highgate vampire, is like fighting this lady to turn her into one, and like, you know, they fight, and you know, he's talking about how it feeds upon the living, is able to create more of its kind through the process of death. So that's what I'm saying. It's not like if you get turned into a vampire, you're having a good time. You know, you get turned into a vampire and you're like trying to kill more people. You're a mindless monster.
I always thought like that a good metaphor for a vampire would be like a heroin addict. Like, or it would be good to, you know.
You will not take the soul of another of God's children. So he's trying to stop them from harming people.
It's like they need
and then look,
feed.
Help! Someone get the police! Bloody hell! It wasn't my fault. It will certainly fall upon me as a result of their claims. So, you know, he's trying to do good, and they're just seeing, look at this lady. She's not good. She's a bad lady, vampire. So that's what I mean. It's such a, I just find it like just like I said, like fantastically interesting. Flip it on its head. You know?
Yeah.
We've done the same thing with vampires. vampires themselves.
Yeah.
You know, the whole
Vampires have become vampire hunters.
Twilight. Who doesn't love the Twilight series? Team was it Edward?
I'm Team Jacob.
Obviously. I mean, but and yet, you know, that is the why we get along, is because, you know, I recognize, you know, I'm not trying to start a war with the whole.
Well, I don't really give a crap about Jacob. I'm just more into werewolves than vampires.
Well,
Or I just
you seem more like a werewolf than a vampire.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes.
I mean,
and they're more moral creatures. Vampires just live to drain blood from the living. Werewolves don't necessarily have to, you know, to live, you know.
right. Yeah, like vampires don't go around like biting like animals. I mean, sometimes they'll be like go to like a blood bank. They'll be like, that's like Morbius does that sometimes.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that would be the moral way to do it.
Right. But yeah, werewolves don't have to eat people. It's not. I mean, that's not like the werewolf law.
Yeah.
Like they can only eat people.
Yeah.
Like they're just werewolves, and yeah,
You know, they have a bestial nature, but
right. But it's not like exclusively.
They're not necessarily evil either. They're just a little.
Yeah, they're like a wolf.
Yeah, they're probably very confused. You know.
And think about this too. Like, if you saw a werewolf like eating like a sheep or a pig or something, you wouldn't be like, "Oh my, that's horrible." You'd be like, "Yeah, okay." But
I'm
like,
gonna stay away
vampire,
from you,
right? Like, but and the werewolf wouldn't feel embarrassed either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If they're like eating a sheep thing or a animal or something, they're
Mhm.
not going to be like, "Ugh." But it's always established in vampire stuff. If they eat an animal, that's like not as good. You know, like you've seen that before in vampire movies, right? They're like, if they can like drain like blood from like a mouse, right? But it's like it's not so good.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
sure if I'm familiar with that. I mean, like I know like that like vampires might be like bourgeois about it and might think it's like low or something.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's definitely that.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is weird because cannibalism is kind of like seen as like actually the opposite of like very sophisticated. You know, it's actually like a return to
we look down on cannibals.
Yeah, a return to being.
Like I said earlier,
vampire culture is very different than our own.
Well, like I said, what if, you know, we flipped the Jeffrey Dahmer story or one of these Ed Gein or something stories, or maybe not Ed Gein.
I kind of thought it would be like cool to like.
Were they really the hero?
I mean, maybe there is a story like this, but I think it would be cool to like have a story of like, where's this guy that like everybody thinks he's like a schizophrenic or something,
right?
But like really, he's just has like sort of the ability to perceive on different like wavelengths, and he's actually seeing something that's really there, and he's trying to like warn people about it, you know, but everybody thinks he's crazy or whatever.
Right. Well, it's kind of
but I feel like I feel like that's been done before, though. I feel like it's a trope, actually.
Yeah. Well, because that's like in the Max, the Iz's are like those grandmas and stuff, and like everyone else sees them as people, and he sees that they're actually like those little
monsters that can bite through like concrete and steel. Speaking of biting through concrete and steel, I watched like, this is kind of off topic, but
I'm gonna pull it up just to show off this one. This panel he did real quick here.
Ever seen Street Sharks?
I have Street Sharks. I actually have the DVDs in there. I've watched a little bit of them.
Well,
but,
like I watched like the first couple episodes, and you know, like those when they're before they're sharks,
so
and they're skating around and shit. They're doing all these like crazy, insane, extreme stunts.
oh,
And then like later on, like this other guy that's still human does something, and they're sharks now. And they're
Right.
saying like, "You're crazy. What are you doing?"
look at that
But it's
building.
like-
it's like a photograph, but it's like it's not. I look like drawn, right? Look at that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it has that perfect look that it looks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does look like photorealistic
That's what I'm
kind of
saying,
thing.
like, he is just
you know.
off the hook.
My point is that it was funny that like them as sharks were more afraid to do stuff than when they were like regular people. You know, like
Right.
you know, like I thought it was just like a weird observation. I'm like, why are you more chicken now? You're a giant shark, like that can bite through steel and concrete. Why are you like afraid of like you know?
Right. Well,
I don't know.
well, I mean, you'd be thrown off balance turning into a
Yeah,
shark.
yeah,
you
I
know?
guess. Well, they seemed pretty okay with it though. Like they even like say like stuff like Jawsome, and they think of. In fact, the one guy thinks. I'm sorry, I'm so off topic. But like the one guy thinks it's like cool. Like he thinks he's like more attractive as a shark. I swear. But anyway,
Yeah, I mean,
and
if I was turned into a shark, I mean, I would be happy.
nobody would pick on me for sure.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Everybody holler if you want to party.
I kind of like this one, Bob. Leave it.
I kind of like this one.
I like this one. Let's not just rip it to pieces. No, I'm like, this is a good one. This is definitely we still haven't done we still have to do that skit, like
What skit?
with the the Tom King book. You're like,
Oh
come
yeah.
over and like, hey, look what I got. And I'm just like, that's what.
Yeah, I have all
Gotta, like,
those.
get worked up for
I
that,
don't-
though. Like,
yeah.
you've gotta.
I haven't even read them though. Like I have like all these Rorschach Tom King books, and
Right.
I've read like a few of them, but like I'm just not into it. Like I don't know, it's not the same as Alan Moore's Watchmen. It's just like a cheap imitation or something.
Tom King is literally a CIA agent.
That's like the opposite of what Alan Moore is.
That's what I'm saying. Like I can understand Alan Moore being pissed about that. Like you gave my characters to a fucking well, Spoke. What was you doing? You come to a Spoke. What for? What? We try to put in the kids' heads now. All right, well, let me. I guess that'll. You want to like.
You'll suck cock in hell.
You hear that, Tom King?
Tom King, you're gonna suck cock in hell.
That's right, Tom King. You're not going to the good place, bud. If you live a long life, know that you're going to end up in hell with Jack the Ripper. See, we've had we're getting better at like putting all these together.
Yeah.
Well, I think you wanna wrap it up. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's got a couple. I don't think we had any questions or anything. No one asked any questions. That's excellent. Okay. See, everyone's happy. So the links to if you want to go get your own copy of Jack the Ripper Vampire Hunter, go do it. I recommend it definitely. Go get Mandy's Super Dead. I think I saw you can get copies of this on some people got them on eBay too. It's good. I like it, but I like all the Jack Ripper stuff. So
Mhm.
I'm just
You're
obsessed.
yes.
Like most things that I do,
Mhm.
just all right.
Well, as a Ripperologist,
right, as a
that
Ripperologist,
is
I have
another. You are a doctor.
to- Dr.
You have
Ripperologist.
doctorate in Ripperology.
Exactly. That's what I should do. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna play us out with this one here.
Cruising down the street in my 6'4", jocking the bitches, slapping the hoes. Went to the park to get the scoop. Knuckleheads out there cold shooting some hoops. A car pulls up, who can it be? Fresh El Camino rolling Kilo G. He rolled down his window and he started to say, it's all about making that GTA. Cause the boys in the hood are always hard.